Afternoon. How are you all doing? Sorry, I couldn't get my mic working again. They did another software update for my microphone. So, of course, it stops working. So, hopefully, it's working. How are we all doing? Afternoon, Ian, Peter, Senji, Yotko, Evil, Johan, Julio, Ducks, Virginia, Udi, Fletch, Gav, Rico, Monkey. It's time. How are we doing? Brian. Afternoon. So, this afternoon is unemployment numbers, unemployment rate. So see how that pans out, see if we get any volatility, see if we get any movement. We'll have a look through the news, have a look through the FX pairs and everything, see where everything's going. Afternoon, Gregors. Tom, Dougal, 1 second. Right, it's just the postman. I've got a tumble dryer being delivered this afternoon at some point. So they're meant to be phoning me with a 1 hour slot at some time between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So far, no tumble dryer or phone call. So we'll wait. We'll see what's going on. Afternoon, Gregors, Brian, everybody else, Tom. Afternoon, I'm drunk clubbing, going clubbing. All right, okay. Good for you, Tom. Isn't it a bit early to go clubbing? 1:20 in the afternoon. Depends where you are in the world, obviously. You're obviously in Australia, I assume. Afternoon, Christian, Amy, Neo, Evans, Joe. Right, let's cover the news. So, obviously, we're waiting for the unemployment numbers to come out. Unemployment change. Basically, it's the unemployment rate is what we're interested in. This is the one that moves the market. We call it non-farm payroll for some unknown reason, but it's actually the unemployment rate that we're focusing on because that's what the leading indicator is that actually moves it. So we'll see what happens there. It's coming out at 1:30 in 10 minutes' time. Other news today, been quite a bit of news come out on Financial Juice today. Quite a lot of talking head news. We've had the total Eurozone revised GDP, which came out flat. Bank of Japan is leaning towards ending negative rates in March. Very important. So if you look at the yen, we had a big move down again on the yen today. I got out of the final yens. I posted this in the Discord channel this morning. I got out the final yen today, which was that one there. From the 2nd of January, the very first trade I took this year was the US dollar yen on the 2nd of January. And I banked $1,400 on it. But it's taken 3 months to bank that. So I can't remember what it was, 1.5% increase or something. 3%? 3%? I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah. But perfect example of a squeeze, this. Yeah. Entered, market moved against, entered again, came back down, missed the opportunities to take the profit, went in, got in again, closed a trade out, pushed up, took another trade, pushed up, took another 2 trades, closed one out, did some drawdown control, entered that position again, closed that out, didn't bother to do drawdown control because thought it was coming down, pushed up, added that position back on again, added another one, did some drawdown control, did more drawdown control, got out the final thing all the way down there. Yeah. Patience. Market cannot go like that forever. It has to do this. So, yeah. But anyway, out of that now. So I forgot to switch over to work account. The other Brian is here. Good. Schizophrenic. So, yeah, we had that. So, we know now that the rates are going to increase in March. Well, they say that. We'll see. But it is dependent on data, obviously, as usual. ECB, a cut in April cannot be ruled out, but the probability is low. So the euro today has dropped. June is the possible month for a rate cut. And then literally 2 minutes later, we can't rule out April. So we're going to do it in June, but we might do it in April. So maybe go somewhere around May. So we've had a drop on the euro today as well. So obviously we've had this drop on the euro and it's come back down again today. So we bounced off of ADR, bounced off the double bottom today on euro odd, euro CAD, little bit of a drop. So basically a little bit of a push down, but nothing dramatic. Euro pound's come down a lot because we've had a bit of a push on the pound today. And obviously it's come down against the yen as well. So a little bit of a drop across the board on the euro, but that's about it. Afternoon, Lippy, Kennelly. I haven't got the indices open because I'm not going to be trading indices this afternoon, but the DAX and the FTSE, both big drops today. Very fast as well. Nice clean opening range breakouts today. So yeah. So we'll look at the RSIs and the ADRs. So as you can see, there's a few ADRs today. The Aussie dollar yen and pound CAD, just the ADR as well. How long we got? 7 minutes. So we'll run through these quickly. So Aussie dollar yen, ADR hit to the downside, straight down, hit, bounce back up again. Nothing's going to go in. Nothing really goes anywhere usually today until we get non-farm payroll coming out. So we've had a big move down, obviously, on the yen because of the news, but financially, nothing else has really moved. They're not putting a lot of money into the market unless there's a reason to do so, hence the yen movement. So Aussie yen hit to the downside. I'm only interested in shorting the yen at the moment, especially after today's news. So I've got some shorts on some accounts, but not really interested in taking longs off of ADR reversals or off of RSI extensions at the moment. I'd much rather be going short. CAD yen is a hit to the downside as well. We got 125 ADR. We've had the reverse alert on 5 minutes there and your retest, but it hasn't managed to go anywhere. You're fighting a losing battle trying to long anything against the yen. Yen should be powering up now. Same as the Swiss yen. So ADR hit to the downside, but again, not going anywhere. Euro yen has hit, pound yen has hit, and US dollar yen has hit. Again, these are all going to be exactly the same move. It's off the back of the news. The pound yen is the only one that has actually managed to rally. And as you can see, that's had a nice little bounce. Look at the reversal alert. when the news came in on the pound, on the yen, this thing collapsed. That was the last buy that we had for that entire time. So there's your reversal. So if you want to get on board with the buyers, you got to wait for it to get all the way back up above ADR. Not going to happen, is it? It might happen actually on the news, but you never know. And US dollar yen. So again, same thing there. Big push, solid. You're not going to get a reversal alert on it. So the other things we've got today on ADRs are pound CAD. That's hit ADR to the upside. We're still rallying on this pound at the moment. So there's an opportunity to short there. Just got out of the long on that one this morning, but there's an opportunity for a short there. That's a nice double top coming up as well. Look. So we're above ADR. We're coming up to an area of resistance, but you do not want to be really taking anything ahead of the Canadian dollar news in 5 minutes. Anything you get into now, it's basically news-based, isn't it? So bit of a difficult one to take anything today. Euro pound is extended and the euro odd is the only other one. So if we look at the euro odd, that's an extension to the downside. We've had a bounce on that. I'm already long from all the way back here. So third position taken on that one this morning. Just looking for a push back up on that. Back up into there. And euro pound. So euro pound is a big drop today because we've had the euro being talked down with the rate increase. So they've basically said we're going to drop. There's a possibility of a rate drop in April, but looking more like June. But that is much more positive than anybody else has said so far. Everybody else has said, yeah, the Fed's doing it in June, so we'll go with the Fed. Euro is the first one to come out and say there's a possibility we might go in April, which means we might go before the Fed. Yeah, so it's only 2 months before, so the likelihood is Lagarde will probably come out on Monday and go, nah, May, June. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, so that's dropped because obviously somebody has said that they may drop interest rates a little bit sooner. Therefore, we want to be selling the euro. And the pound's been rallying. So this is the perfect storm today, 150 ADR, weak currency against a strong currency. And you have had a reversal alert on this morning in here. Actually, you've had a couple. That was the reversal alert there. You can see where I took the trade. And since then, it's pushed back down, invalidated that low. You would have probably had a reversal alert there as well. Not sure that's moved far enough, but you're just about to get one here as well to go long. So there's all your ADRs. There's quite a few today, but obviously, just before the news, not really worth taking anything. I mean, if any trades you take, somebody said it in Telegram or Discord the other day. Do I trade before the news? I trade if there's a setup. Yeah. So if you are trading ADR reversals and you get an entry signal 15 minutes before the news is about to come out, it's either going to go like that and you're going to go, brilliant, I'll make a load of money, or it's going to go like that and you go, no problem, I'll take a second entry, average in and get out. Doesn't matter, does it? Really, the only reason it would really matter is if there is a fundamental shift on a currency, i.e. it's an interest rate or a CPI number, and that comes out dramatically different to what we're expecting, and the market actually decides to change direction on that currency for a prolonged period of time. In that case, it might affect you obviously quite badly, or it's either going to hit target. Yeah, we don't know which way it's going on the news ever, especially with things like today with non-farm payroll, which is completely random. As we will find out in a minute. 2 minutes. No, 1 minute, 10 seconds. So spreads will widen to 6,000 pips. And then we'll see where we go. So there's your ADRs. We'll quickly run through the RSIs in a minute. But a lot of that is going to be pretty much the same as we've looked at as well. So let's watch the pound US over here. Yeah. Actually, let's open another chart with the pound CAD as well. We can watch two side by side because obviously it's Canadian news as well, not just US dollar. So we'll see where they go. So why do you think the pound Swiss hasn't moved down? Because the pound's rallying basically at the minute. Aussie US, we'll have a look at that in a sec. Watch the news. There we go. So strong US numbers. Not a lot on the CAD. And volume. This happens all the time. Non-farm payroll. So much volume coming through, they just can't plot the chart. Okay, it's going to be a whipsaw by the looks of things. So I suspect the numbers are pretty average. Unemployment change 40.7. So the rate is unchanged on the Canadian dollar, and 3.9 on US. That's negative US. So overall, we should see a drop in the US and a drop in the CAD potentially today. Non-farm employment change number is positive. A bit of a mixed bag, that, isn't it? So that's weak US. And as it's weak US, it'll probably be weak CAD. So everything will probably, as you can see, rally. But we'll see if it whipsaws. It might not go anywhere today. It's Order Liquidity Friday. It certainly is. See who's the stronger at the two. Not a lot in it, really, is there? Look, US dollar and Canadian dollar, pretty even. I suspect it's going to be a whipsaw, but we'll wait and see. Let's see what the yen's done. Not a lot on the yen. Whipsaw on the US. Not a lot on anything, is there? It's just a whipsaw. Okay, we'll see where that comes down to in a minute. I suspect you'll find we'll be back down here in the next 10 minutes or so. So basically, that whipsaw there on Euro US. So ADR is 48. That's 53 pips. So basically, they just cleared the decks long, cleared the decks short, taken all the liquidity, and then sit back in the middle again. Everybody's dead. They've got all the money. Job done. All the orders are placed. They can go off to the pub. Imagine being in a bank and you've got this job to do, which is execute a load of orders on behalf of all your customers. And it takes you usually 4-6 hours to get the whole lot done. 5 minutes. Right, pub. Job done. That's it. Every single order they needed to be executed. Done. Customers happy. Orders are in. Off to the pub. Aussie dollar, US dollar. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I mean, Aussie dollar, US dollars, I've got shorts on at the moment off of the H1 RSI extension back here. So first order there. We didn't bounce at all or bat an eyelid at yesterday at the last week's high this week. We just flew straight through. We've had more negative moves, news there from the US dollar. So there's a potential that we might get another rally off of this. So we've got a big accumulation coming up, which is an area of balance. So we tested that area, slammed through it, sat there, had a price discovery, which worked, came back down, traded around that level again for another few weeks, slammed back down again. We're coming back into this area. So you're going to get resistance here. They will start to resell that level, but whether they get through it or not, We'll have to wait and see. Depends on the strength and weakness of the US dollar. But we've had quite a lot of negative news on the US over the last week. So obviously everything's managing to gain ground against the US at the moment because the numbers have been weak. And obviously we know that they are going to be putting their rates down in June at the moment, as long as the data persists. So there's no reason for the US dollar to strengthen significantly either. So, but at the moment, yeah, I've got 3 on that at the minute. Short. Lovely big uninterrupted run, which we'll be looking for a profit take on. So it's whether or not it's going to come back down and do sort of half that move, or whether it comes down and just does a third of it, or whether it comes completely full circle, or we get some US dollar news next week, which is positive. We'll have to wait and see. BS from people putting out the numbers they adjusted. January over 33% downward. BS from people putting out the numbers they adjusted. Who are you talking about, Les? People as in talking heads, or? I don't know what you mean. Right, let's look at the RSIs while we're waiting for that to calm down. Aussie dollar CAD. NFP came out higher than forecast. Why are we seeing a weak US dollar? It's got nothing to do with non-farm payroll. I don't know why this is. I don't know if this is some kind of tactic from the banks and institutions, but that means nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is nothing. This today has never ever been about the non-farm payroll number. It happens to come out with one of the top 4 leading indicators that banks and institutions and governments use to set interest rates, the unemployment rate. Yeah, this moves on unemployment rate. The fact that non-farm payroll comes out on the same day has got bugger all to do with it. Yeah, we get ADP non-farm employment change there. Do we go, oh, it's ADP non-farm employment change day? No, we don't. We call it non-farm payroll day because there's high volatility in the market, but it's nothing to do with this. It's the unemployment rate. Yeah, there's 4 leading indicators that drive the financial markets. Not on that page, this page. Interest rates, inflation, GDP, and unemployment. Yeah. That's what we just had, the unemployment number. It's got nothing to do with how many people that don't work on farms are unemployed. Well, it has, because obviously that goes into the unemployment rate, but it ain't that. So, you know, this is why people... You know, I never noticed this. When I used to trade news like everybody. I've done everything. I've traded every system under the sun. I've traded every strategy under the sun. I've done everything out there to try and make money in these markets. And I've looked at everything, right? I've been through the news trading thing where everyone goes, hey, you can trade the news. If you take a trade after the news has happened, when this does that, you can make money that way. If you take trades before the news, if you straddle the news, if you do this around the news, if you do everything around the news, you'll make loads of money. Why is it that every time the number comes out green, it goes down? It doesn't make sense because you're reading the wrong bloody number. You just don't know it. Everyone goes, why? It's non-farm payroll day. We're going to be trading non-farm payroll. You're not. You're trading the unemployment rate. It's gone down because the unemployment rate's gone up. That's not good. Doesn't matter if there's a few extra people. You know, this is the change in employment, right? Let's say Tesla open a new factory in the US and they want to employ 50,000 staff. What's going to happen to the employment rate? It's going to go up dramatically on that one sector, in that one company, yeah? But the overall rate of unemployment, which is what costs us money, I don't care how many people are now employed or not employed. How much money has the central government got to pay out to people that haven't got a job? How much is it going to cost to support these people? Yeah, it's important because it comes out of the coppers, basically. That's what people are trading. We just call it non-farm. It's nothing to do with it. If you put non-farm payroll on a separate day, wouldn't do anything. Seriously, wouldn't do it. It would do a bit, not, but, you know, we wouldn't see stuff like that. Be nowhere near as big. JC, sorry it was late, was reading the manual. You're the one. Congratulations. Somebody messaged me in MQL5 Marketplace today and said, I'm looking at your market reverse alert CA. I'm interested in trading ADR reversals, but I can't find anything in there about trading ADR reversals. Will it do a reversal at 125% of ADR using a TP and a stop loss? So he first of all starts by saying he's watched the video and he's read the manual, but he doesn't know if it does ADR reversals. It only does two things. It trades ADR and RSI. So I didn't believe he read the manual. I said to him, go and read the manual. You haven't read the manual, have you? Because if you know that, it's all about RSI and ADR, the whole bloody thing. And yet you're coming and asking me if it does it. I give up. I do get it, though. You know, we're men. Well, not everybody's a man, obviously, but we don't read manuals. We put things on and go, oh, I lost money. Oh, I made money. What we do, isn't it? Isn't the US dollar supposed to be stronger with a higher expected NF? Oh, I just covered that. Employment from 353k revised down to 229k for January, over 33% missed info. Yeah. So don't pay any attention to what you see on the figures, Big Les, basically. Ignore it. There's nothing you can do about it. News is one of those things. It's massively important that you know what's going on in it. But you don't need to know what this number is. Has nothing to do with the long-term movement of anything. What it means is it's a deviation on the forecast. Yeah, so the forecast was 198. We got 275. That's better than forecast. Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything's going to happen long-term. It just means that there's going to be a big move. That's it. Yeah, so it's an opportunity to either make money or wait and make money after. But that's it. What the actual numbers are will get changed, and you just can't pay any attention to it really. Apart from the fact of interest, the big four. Those are the things that drive the market. So if unemployment is continuously going up, yeah, it means that they've got to drop interest rates and make their currency less attractive so that more jobs can be created. Interest rates. If the GDP, well, GDP is a byproduct at the moment, but if inflation goes up, we need to put our interest rates up so it makes us more attractive. Yeah. If interest rates go up, inflation will come down, which makes us more attractive, but will make us less attractive in the next quarter usually. Yeah. So all that we're interested in is CPI, interest rates, GDP, and unemployment. Everything else is irrelevant. And if these numbers that come out don't affect don't affect anything big enough to move the others, it's just not an event that will happen. So we just will either continue to do what we've been doing for the last X number of weeks, or we will change direction. It's the only reason we need to pay our attention to it. But when they will change direction, we have no idea either. Yeah, just got to have an overlying understanding of how it affects the market. But individual things, if something spikes up 200% of ADR, it's a great opportunity to sell the thing. Because so if it spikes up 200% of ADR and nothing's happened, in this case, it's gone up by 0.2%, which is bad, but it will come back down again. And likewise, it's gone down, it will go back up again. Because the market, if it wants to continue going down, will still come back up before it goes down. It just goes up and down all the time. This is what moves it. That's all you need to understand, really. Calm down, I'm eating my lunch. Dougal's going to need a towel. Dougal. I used to watch the Magic Roundabout. Sorry, this is a US afternoon session, is it? Probably don't know what I'm talking about. Aussie dollar CAD. So look at the RSIs. Hourly RSI extension on Aussie dollar CAD to the upside. So we're above the 70 level again. Already short on this from yesterday. We got extended. So just a continuation push against me. We're coming up to a level I've drawn on my chart for some reason. Old support resistance, basically. So this old support level here that we continuously tested over and over and over and over again. Accumulated around it for a bit. So potentially a good spot for a pullback on that leg down into that propulsion gap. So I'll be taking a second entry on that today. Actually, don't think I will get a second entry on that today. No. So the reverse alert on this is basically going to be pretty much where my entry is anyway. So So Aussie dollar CAD extended to the upside. We had an opportunity to enter on that one yesterday anyway. So nice divergence there now, bearish. So looking for a pullback on that leg. Aussie US is also extended. I'm not going to cover all the 4 hours. There's a lot of 4-hour RSI extensions, but I'm only trading the hourlies at the moment. So Aussie US, big extension. So this is day 3 now of this run. So we'll be looking for a pullback at some point, looking for a pullback into propulsion. But that is still extended and embedded. So we've been embedded now for over 24 hours on this one. Nearly 48 hours. Look, solid, straight up. Yeah. So nice big pullback, hopefully coming on that one soon. Euro pound is extended. We know about this one, extended to the downside. We looked at this on the ADRs a minute ago. This is the one, this is my main drawdown at the moment on H1M5. Basically, we've kind of gone into this nasty sideways move that we can't get out of. So entry was taken back there, initial one. We were looking for a bounce off of this, and all we did basically was got an ADR pushed down, and we sat there for over a week. Then we had a news event which drove us down for another week. Then we pushed down for another week, and we've been sitting now for over a month. Just sitting over a month, doing nothing. Can't do anything with it. Literally can't do anything with it. I've banked on it multiple times already. Nice profit, multiple profits on it. If it gets back up to these highs again, I will probably take another profit on it. I might even get out of it, but it's costing a fortune in swaps, unfortunately, at the moment. So another entry taken today. There's absolutely no bias on this euro, long or short. So just waiting basically for this thing to actually decide if it wants to go somewhere. But stuck in it in a minute. So that one is extended again on the hourly. So we're down here again. We keep pushing up from this level all the time. Nothing's really changed fundamentally either. So I can't see any reason why we should suddenly collapse down. There's no big strength in the pound. What they said about the euro today will probably get undone next week because it is still going to be a June interest rate drop. So at the moment anyway. So I would expect this to be back up here sort of towards the middle to end of next week. Pound US dollar. Big extension to the upside. So this is running away now. First entry taken yesterday. Whoops. On the H1M5 strategy. So short in there. Obviously the negative news on the US driving that up 150 ADR. Not sure I'm going to get a second entry on that. No. So the reverse alert is basically going to be over an ADR away. So you're not even going to get an alert on it on M5. If we get a little bit of a push down here and then we push up and make a new high, the reverse alert will be nice and tight up there and I'll be able to get a second entry on. But at the moment, no way into this one at all. Not with the EA anyway. You could take a manual on it. Which, to be honest, is not a bad idea. Yeah, I think I will actually. So I'm just going to take a manual on this one, just to keep the average fairly tight. I don't want this to run away, basically, and not get a reverse alert until we're like 200 ADR away or something ridiculous. So just taking another entry there just so that I've got an exit, basically. Back down in that propulsion gap. New Zealand dollar, US dollar also extended. So first entry taken on that one yesterday. Same thing, we're 1 ADR away. This is where the new EA would come in fantastic. 0.3. So just targeting that propulsion down there. And US dollar yen extended to the downside. And not taking any longs on this. Got out of all these today. Finally, I'm out of everything on the yen. So if we do get a push back up, what I'm looking to do is ride this down now. So just looking for pushes back up. So any RSI extensions, any ADR hits to the upside, I'll be shorting those, but not going long. The Bank of Japan came out, as I covered at the beginning, came out today and said, where was it? There we go. Leaning towards ending negative rates in March. So this will be the first interest rate change we've had in Japan for 7 years. So big difference in what we should expect from a strength perspective from the Bank of Japan. So their monetary policy control mechanisms do not use traditional methods of interest rates versus inflation. They use overseas purchases and bond purchases. So all of their investment is overseas rather than in their own country. They're quite small, but they're incredibly rich through manufacturing, obviously. What their shift looks like they're trying to shift towards is a normal stance that we have in the rest of the world, which is basically using interest rates to control inflation, which means that they need to start moving their interest rates up and down on a regular basis, as everybody else does. So this is their first step towards that for 7 years. So where we've had the Japanese yen only ever moving when we need safe havens to put money into, because the interest rate is virtually zero. So it's somewhere you can put it safe where it's not going to get hurt. So when we have conflict, when we have natural disasters, pandemics, all that sort of thing, yen powers up, Swiss powers up. There's no reason to be worried about any other movement on the Japanese yen, but that is going to change. So what we will find is the yen will start to power up with its own monetary policy rather than being pushed around by the other currencies. So quite important, this, but again, it's just going to fall in line with all the other currencies. So it should be strengthening up for the next sort of quarter. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, just looking for basically sells against the yen at the moment. So those are your hourlies. The pound US dollar is also massively extended on the 4 hour, as you can see. So we're looking for a pullback on this leg. US dollar yen, again, I'm not interested in longing it. US dollar CAD. So this one, absolute collapse here. Very similar to the previous ones that we've had that have all gone straight back up very, very quickly. Yeah, so I'm long on this already, looking for a push back up into propulsion. US dollar CAD, if you can see, just being pushed and pulled and pushed and pulled and pushed and pulled, has for the last 6 to 8 weeks, while we're waiting for some kind of news on interest rates. So until we get some, business as usual, just long at the moment and wait to get out. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, that's also extended on this week. US dollar, beautiful double top off the monthly high. So limit orders triggered again at this level. So good time to get in short, pull it back into the middle. Euro US, Aussie US, same as the New Zealand. So if you're going to trade one, or ideally trade one or the other, New Zealand dollar, US dollar, or Aussie US dollar, because you'll look at the two charts and they're virtually the same thing. So just trade one or the other. They both move together, the Aussie and the New Zealand, and you're moving against the US dollar. So it's the same currency pair pretty much. Aussie, New Zealand, also got an extension on that one. That one's just started to play out. Oh, nice big drop there. This Aussie or New Zealand moving? A bit difficult to tell. Looks to me like a little bit of strength on the New Zealand dollar and a little bit of weakness on the Aussie at the same time, which is why it's moved so fast. So that's coming down nicely. Aussie, New Zealand. That was an H4 RSI extension there. And also it's extended on the hourly, but we've been in this one since back here, since the news event. So this was the New Zealand dollar interest rate staying exactly as it was. Absolutely no reason for that to happen. But then we had good news from Australia. Off the back of bad news, well, not really bad news from New Zealand. So be looking for this to come back and retest this. So this is exactly the same move as we've just had on. Going to test me. Yeah, Euro New Zealand. And the pound New Zealand as well, look. Yeah, so we were looking for a return back to the news. Yeah, so the propulsion gap, the propulsion move, the bank order placed on that news event. We're looking for a retest back into that level. So the Aussie, New Zealand, same thing. We're looking to come back down and retest this level. There's no reason for the Aussie to be fundamentally stronger than the New Zealand. There's no reason for the New Zealand to be fundamentally stronger than the Aussie. However, when there is a reason, the Aussie usually wins because it's a bigger economy. So off we go. There we go. That's those done. Thanks for subscribing, Adesanya. Welcome aboard. What's the main difference on the new EA? I'll cover that in a sec. What percentage balance lot size do you use to give the comfortable level of drawdown? I use, well, it's on here. So I use 0.2 or 0.1% over half an ADR. Yeah. On the initial entry. See if I've got anything I can close out on the news. Not a lot. So yeah, the new EA basically, I've been working a little bit more on it this morning. The main difference is basically it's just simpler, a lot simpler basically. Not taking trades, yeah. So it still uses the same kind of strategy. It's a position trading EA, so it just position trades basically. But you can use anything you like as a strategy. So what I want to do is to build something that is simpler, much simpler. Yeah. So it still looks like it's got quite a few inputs in here, but basically your only inputs are: do you want to trade ADR reversals? If so, what level ADR do you want to start taking trades? Or do you want to trade ARSI, mean reversion entries? If so, which RSI do you want to use as the condition? Yeah. We're not using, it doesn't use reversal alerts. Yeah. So there's really good things about reversal alerts. There's really bad things about reversal alerts. So the market reversal alerts EA is still what it is. It uses market reversal alerts to get in. This doesn't use market reversal alerts. This literally just uses entries based on moving average crosses. Yeah. So it's just, if price crosses above a moving average, you're in. Yeah. So all it's doing basically is waiting for the condition to be met and waiting for some strength in the market, and you can fine tune the moving average. But the main difference is you can use any strategy you like to position trade. So if you want to trade Bollinger Band strategy, you can do. If you want to trade CCIs, MACDs, anything you like, you can basically trade any strategy manually with it. And all you basically will do is when you find there's a trade, you will go buy, and it will automatically get you into that trade. It will calculate where you need to get in next on the position, and it will get you out automatically. So it's very similar to the market reversal alert CA, but a much more simplified version. And as you can see from the backtester, it's bloody fast. Yeah, I mean, from a testing perspective, it opens up a billion. It's a billion times faster, speed-wise. Yeah, this is testing 4 years in visual mode. It's just incredibly quick. Incredibly quick. So it's just a more versatile EA. It doesn't use magic numbers. Yeah, so from a technical perspective, it's much simpler to use. You stick it on your chart and it goes, oh, I've traded this before, and it knows everything about the trades you've got on there, and it will just pick up where it left off. So we've got somebody at the moment that's had a problem in the Telegram group where their systems crashed. They've reset the EA up, used different, magic number conflicts and stuff. It's just all gone wrong. Can't go wrong with this because it goes, right, this is pound US dollar. Have I traded it before? Yeah, I have, and there's no trades on. Right, what do you want to do? Or I can see there's trades on here. I don't know how they were taken. I don't care. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a position for you, and it takes over. So it takes over from itself, or it takes over from you, as long as you've used the buttons. If you use manual trades, it still doesn't take over manual trades for you. But it does take over trades if you've used these buttons to enter manually. As you can see, it's calculated the next long and all sorts of stuff. Does lot sizing the same, does everything the same. It's got drawdown control. It's got aggressive drawdown control. Yeah, it's just basically much faster, much nicer, much smoother, much easier to trade, basically. But it is essentially the same as the market reverse alerts EA. Just doesn't use market reverse alerts. So, you know, position trading is a concept. It's not the market reverse alerts indicator. That is an indicator that I created to show market structure. My strategies use ADR and RSI, which is why they're in there. But if you want to go and trade sun cycles, do it. You can position trade anything. You can flip a coin and position trade it. If your dog poos in that corner of the garden, you can go long. If it poos in that corner of the garden, you can go short, and it will turn it into a position trade. It doesn't matter, does it? When we press the button, it's irrelevant because I've just pressed the button on this CAD Swiss now. I've no idea where it's going to go. It doesn't matter, does it? What matters is if it goes up, I bank the profit. If it goes down, I scale in, move my price, and wait for it to go up, and I'll bank the profit. Yeah. So it doesn't matter how you press the button. So this allows you to press the button any way you want, any strategy you want. And what I want to do is, you know, part of the process in building this is people have contacted me over and over again with different strategies. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And I basically build EAs to test it, and they all fail. And I remove the stop loss, turn that strategy into a position trading strategy, and guess what? It suddenly makes a load of money. Why? Because the strategy's got nothing to do with making money in the market. Nobody knows whether this is going up or down. Not even the central banks know if this is going to end as a down day or an up day. Because there's 10 of them all driving price in different directions. They don't know whether we will end bull or bear. How could you? So how can you pick an entry? You can't. You have to trade. You're just trading is all about entering the market and exiting the market in a positive or a negative perspective. Yeah. How you get in has got bugger all to do with anything. This trade today will either end green or it'll end red. I don't know. But if it ends red, I've got an opportunity to get out tomorrow. If it ends green, I'll get out today. But that's all I know is that it's going to end red or green. It's a binary thing we're trading. It's completely random and it goes up and down. That's it. So this EA allows you to take a trade and then it will automatically manage that position for you. It will tell you where, based on your settings, we're going to take the next trade from. So here, for example, we've got in here and it says your next long position is going to be there. The lot size we're going to use is 0.13. So I can go into the EA and I can say, actually, I don't want you to get me in half an ADR apart. I want you to get me a quarter of an ADR apart. You can press that button and it goes, all right, we'll get you in there now, because that's the next place you just told me you want to get in. And I can say things like, I want to get in with 3 times the lot size I just took. And it will automatically recalculate the lot. You probably can't see it. It's so tiny. Recalculate the lot size there to a 0.03 because I took a 0.01. So it does all of this on the fly. And if I switch over to another chart, it goes, oh, you haven't got any trades on. I'll wait here. If I switch back to the trade that I was in, it picks up where it's left off. What did I just take a trade on? I can't remember. CAD Swiss. So if I switch back to the CAD Swiss, yeah, it picks up where it's left off. It goes, oh yeah, we're in the CAD Swiss. Next trade is long from there, and it's that lot size. Yeah, so it's just much more intelligent way of position trading. But essentially, it does exactly the same thing as the market reverse alert CA in the fact that it gets you out if you make money, and if you don't make money, it adjusts your price and scales into the moves for you. Just you can now decide when you scale in, and this takes over while you're asleep, which is what we want now. I think I've just answered your question. Could you explain a bit more about how it manages the trades? There you go. So the very first trade should always be manual. No, you can have it automatic. It automatically trades. Look, auto strategy entry to use here. Do you want to trade RSI reversals or ADR? Yeah, I've built this for me, right? This is to trade for me. So I trade RSI extensions and ADR reversals. Yeah, the only reason I get into the market is if RSI is extended or if ADR is hit, because I am a mean reversion trader, and for a mean reversion entry, you have to have a market which is extended. Yeah, the whole purpose of mean reversion trading is the market is extended and stretched. We are taking trades when the profit comes in. Yeah, so those are the two conditions I'm interested in. If you don't want it to automatically enter for you, you can press the button whenever you like. Because you don't have to do what I do. And I use RSI and ADR because those are the indicators that I am comfortable with. Mean reversion trading also works with any oscillator or any kind of market condition indicator that measures strength, Bollinger Bands, yeah? Anything that measures a standard deviation, moving average. Yeah, so you can use a moving average. So if we stick an MA on the chart, I don't know. Actually, have I got? Yeah, we'll use this one. So this is a 9 EMA on the 4-hour chart. Actually, that's a terrible MA. Let's just change this. Oh God, why can't I select it? So let's use a 50 moving average, for example. So you could say if I am 2 ADR away from the moving average, yeah, the market is stretched. It's been pushing really hard because to get 2 ADR away from its moving average price, from its average price, it's got to push bloody hard, which means the banks have done what? Oh, a load of it. What are they going to do next? Profit take. What's going to happen? It's going to mean revert. So if you want to use a moving average and just go 200% away from the moving average, or 2 ADR away from the average, whatever you want. If you want to use a Bollinger Band, which measures a standard deviation away from average price, and when it gets outside of that, sell it, do it. But if that doesn't work, don't take a stop loss and lose a load of your money because you got the entry wrong, because you don't know when it's going up or down. Let the EA get in, scale in for you. That's its job. It's more of a utility than a strategy, isn't it? Really, if you think about it. Why is there a load of dog emojis? Because I said about the dog. So the very first trade with me, yeah. If the dog poos in your hand, you should just hold. Yeah, exactly. Will the EA do hedging? If you want to, yeah, it can do hedging. So you've got a hedge setting down here, allow multi-direction trading. So you can hit buy and hit sell, or if you're using RSI, you could say, and this is a really good strategy I've just discovered, when we're above the 60, sell it. When we're below the 40, buy it. And if it just goes like that for ages, get me in long and short. And when it moves, get me out of one and get me in the other. That's exactly what we do on the H1 account, isn't it? But yeah, it can do hedging, but only using this entry mechanism. Yeah. Because you don't need anything more complex than that. Did you incorporate the moving take profit? The moving take profit. I don't know what that is. No. Does it have an Agamat setting? Yeah. It'll do Agamat for you, whatever Agamat is. We did work out what Agamat was. I can't even remember what it is now. It's basically just a combination of a couple of indicators, isn't it? So yes, it could trade that. It can trade any strategy. This is the beauty of it. This is the, you know, it's like I say, we come in here in the live rooms and what did we just look at a minute ago? And I said, there's a lovely, it's one of the ADRs, wasn't it? There's a lovely double top bounce. £2 US? No. We looked at something and I said, what a lovely double top. There you go. New Zealand US, right? Look at that beauty. Hit the sell button. Why? Because it's just double topped. Is the limit orders triggering there going to drive down, or is it going to just accumulate and break? I don't know. You don't know. But we do know that support and resistance bounces work 50% of the time. So hit the sell button. If it goes up, it will scale in for you. If it goes down, Brilliant. But it gives you the opportunity to do this. If you just want to trade double top and bottoms, do it. But don't take a loss. Let it position trade. Position trade yourself out of it. But it will obviously do this standard stuff. So if you're trading 28 pairs, how does it manage all of those without trading magic numbers? Just detects the pair. So if MetaTrader pushes an instrument name basically out. So whatever the instrument name is, it goes, first thing it does, right? When the EA initializes, it goes, what pair am I on? Or what instrument am I on? It doesn't have to be a pair. What's the instrument I'm trading? New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Okay. Let's have a look in the account history and the open trades. Is there anything in open trades with New Zealand dollar, US dollar and magic number 999 or not a manual trade, basically? Is it been taken by me? Yeah. So when you press this button, yeah, it enters a trade with the magic number 999, right? Which is the EA. So it goes, have we got magic 999 and is it on this pair? If yes, I'm going to look after it. If no, I'm not interested. But you do not have to set a magic number for every single pair. Big difference. Because it goes, is there a magic number 999 and Aussie New Zealand? It's an and condition. So in the EA settings, you've got a magic number down here, which is set to 999. Just don't touch it. But if you wanted to run the EA on two charts on the same terminal, on the same currency with different strategies, in theory, you could do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Because there are certain things in the EA like profits, overall profits that it monitors, which will be account-based and stuff, which will be the same for different charts. So just run one strategy. There's absolutely no reason to get into the same pair twice. Yeah, this is position trading. Yeah, if someone comes up to me and says, CAD Swiss, what's your position? Long. But what's your position with the market reversal alert strategy? I'm long. What's your position with the Bollinger Band strategy? I'm long. I bought it. But it's going down. But this strategy says to sell it. Yeah, but I'm not. I'm long. My position is long. There's no reason for you to open another CAD Swiss pair up and take another trade for any other reason than managing this trade. You're in it. This is a position. That's why it's called the Position Trader EA, because it trades your position on that instrument. Strategy's got nothing to do with anything, is it? Strategy is a way to get in. That's it. Doesn't help you in any other shape or form after you've pressed that button. Can it be set to take the first trade, whichever comes first, either ADR or RSI? You can. So if you set it, now this, I would say no. So it says here, auto strategy, use only one. The problem is the EA has to calculate the next lot size. If these two conditions are met at the same time, what it will do is it will take one trade on ADR and it will take one trade on RSI. But it's all done at the same time on the same candle. So what will happen is that one will get placed with a proper lot size. That one will get placed with a 0.01 lot size because it hasn't had a chance to do the calculation on the original thing. So it only does one. You trade one or the other. You're either trading RSI extensions or ADR extensions. If you want to trade both, set up two accounts, like I do, one for RSI and one for ADR. Split your risk. Or if you've got it set up to automatically trade, in this case, ADR reversals, right? And it's set to false for RSI extensions, and you come in and you see there's a whacking great RSI extension, but it hasn't hit ADR yet. Hit that button, and it will just do the same thing. Take over. Will you be releasing it once it's fully functional? Yes. For an all-in wild swimming button. Yeah, I was thinking about putting something in there. I was going to have a Greg Secker Easter egg, but I decided not to because I might get sued. So if I were to change the 999 magic number to the one I'm actually using on the market reversal alert CA with open positions, would it take over those trades on that pair? Yes. I've no idea. Yes, it probably would. Yeah, it would. I haven't. I've just thinking about logic behind it. Yeah, it would. Yeah. There's no reason because it works on magic number and it works on currency pairs. So if you had the market reversal alert CA taking a load of trades for you and you were in a position, and you remove the market reversal alert CA and you put this on with the same right. So what you would have to do, because the market reversal alert CA, if you remember rightly, has two magic numbers, one for long and one for short, because it has to monitor baskets individually. This works differently. So if you, for example, were on the CAD Swiss and you were long, you'd need to take the magic number long and use that. But that causes a problem in the way that I foresee this being used, in the fact that you need the whole reason it's got 999 as a magic number and it uses that is because you need to be able to, on your terminal that you're working on, be able to hit buttons. Yeah, and you can't do that if you change the magic numbers. Well, you could do, but you'd have to change the magic number all the time and it would be a pain in the backside. I'll explain it in a video when I do it. So the other thing I've done today, which is fantastic, if I do say so myself, is I finished the export system off. So let me just do an export of, I don't know that. Well, I don't even know how it's set up. I don't even know what it's doing. But we'll just run one anyway. So we've got this thing down here now called export a daily summary to the files folder. And you can name it. So I'm going to name this just M15. What is it doing? M15 RSI 8020. So just going to run that test quickly over 4 years. Test quickly. So basically what this is doing is it's obviously just running a normal back test, which you can see. When you're finished. So once it's run the back test, basically, you get the normal report. The problem with the strategy tester in MT4 and MT5 is the amount of information it gives you here and the accuracy of this information, because it doesn't matter how you do the test. The data in here is never going to match up with real life conditions. So what it's doing basically, it's obviously done that report, that test. It's come out with 12 grand of profit, etc. It says it's done 24 grand's worth of drawdown. But what it's done here is it's exported a file, as you can see. So that's the name I just put in there, M15 RSI 8020 for the pound US dollar. So if I open this Excel spreadsheet, this gives me a breakdown of that test. And it will also run live as well for you. But basically, you can see what it's doing is it's exporting all the information about what was going on day by day. So as we were going along, what was the ADR that day? Yeah, so you can get all the ADR data out for every single day. So you can see how ADR changes. And this is really interesting. We started off at 1,038 ADR. You can see we dropped all the way down to 750. So ADR dropped 25%. Yeah. Then it shot up to 1,200. So it went from 700 to 1,200. So you can see how ADR fluctuates with volatility and why it's so important you use ADR and you don't use pips, because you've got to stay in line with the average daily range of that particular instrument. So it exports all this data. So it exports your balance day by day, your equity day by day, how much short profit you've got open at the end of the day, how much long profit you got open, how many trades there were, how many total trades if you're hedging, and your closed profit as the EA goes on, like what it's banking day by day, week by week, month by month. But more importantly, it also shows you the open profit and drawdown day by day. So this is the one thing you can't see in the backtester when you are testing any position trading strategies. You can't see your open drawdown. So all you get at the end of the test is a figure of how much it made, and what it says was the maximal drawdown, as it calls it. This figure is every day, how much was my account actually in drawdown? What was the P&L reading at the end of the day? Long, short, and total. So you can come in here and you can quickly sort this by size and go, right, maximum drawdown was 21.5K. So if I put this on my chart, this EA right now, and I didn't touch it for 4 years, it would have drawn down 21.5 grand on the account. Yeah. And it came out and it made, what did it make? What was the overall balance? 12 something? So it made 12.5 grand. So it drew down 21, made 12. If I'd have left it fully automated, didn't touch it, went away, came back, I'd made 12 grand. Which on this account is a 20% return in 4 years. Yeah, go and find me a pension fund that can do that. There isn't one. Yeah, so, you know, okay, so now we know that this isn't going to blow the account. Right, so let's introduce another instrument. Euro, US dollar, or some other instrument. What was the open drawdown at the very maximum on that over a period of 4 years? Yeah, and if that open drawdown there, plus the open drawdown on the other one you test, plus the open drawdown on the other one you test, never gets to a point when you add them together that it would have blown your account, you can do portfolio backtesting now with it. Something you can't do with MT4 or MT5 properly with using open drawdown. So this is a fantastic feature. And the other nice thing about it is, oh, this is the wrong version. It should be exporting lot size. I obviously haven't exported that version, but what it's going to do is, instead of, I can't remember which column I've replaced, but I've replaced one of these columns. I think it's those two or something. But I've replaced one with lot size, so we can see how many lots were open every single day as well. That's not as important as obviously this, but it gives you that sort of comfort. I mean, I've no idea what this test is. It's just gobbledygook, but you can see it got up to 17 open trades. You'd never let it go that far, would you? But it just gives you the confidence, basically, and you can see day by day what would have actually happened. From a pain perspective, I always talk about thresholds of pain. Would I be comfortable in that? No. So what do we need to do about it? Reduce our lot size. If we want to run this on completely full auto without being panicked and pained, we need to reduce the lot size, or change the lot multiplier, or get in sooner or get out sooner, or something. We need to change something, because if that's not comfortable, it's not a strategy for you, is it? So you can get all this data out now, which is going to make backtesting so much more effective. And not to mention the fact that it does it 4 times faster. Well, actually, it's not 4, it's about 50 times faster than the MRA EA did, because it's just position trading. So I might incorporate other entry criteria at some point along the way as well. You know, if people come to me and they find amazing strategies for position trading with indicators that are off the shelf, easy to integrate, I can add very easily auto trading strategy. What's the market condition? So we're looking for basic condition indicators, RSIs, MACDs, CCIs, all these sorts of things. Anything that measures movement. Yeah, it can be a condition indicator, and you can auto trade that condition indicator when the market starts to push in your direction. So it's very easy for me to add one more indicator in there, one more drop down, and all of a sudden now it trades Bollinger Bands, bang, now it trades CCI. But what I don't want to do is overcomplicate it. But adding this in here is kind of 4 or 5, more than that, but a few lines of code, which doesn't affect the speed of it. So it's just going to be a much more versatile product to use, for me anyway, just for everyday use. And, you know, looking at the, on here, for example, we've got the market reverse alerts indicator on there, haven't we? So 15 minutes. So if we change this move, this is a really bad market to look at, isn't it? But if we change the the moving average over. Yeah, if you look at the market reversal alert indicator, it breaks. It's a market structure break indicator. So basically, it shows you that not only is the market moving down, but control has been taken by the other party. Yeah, so this is the whole point of this indicator. It's a confirmation indicator. If you look at the alert there, yeah, if you look at this alert here, and then you look at this moving average, which is a 15, that is exactly the same spot. And you'll find a lot of the time with market movement during normal business hours, forget the Asian session. Yeah, during the Asian session, it just goes sideways on virtually everything anyway. But during normal market conditions, you will find there are moving averages that very closely replicate market reversal alerts and market structure, which is why I've incorporated that as the main signal. One, it's simple. Two, it takes milliseconds to test. Market reversal alerts EA has got hundreds of calculations going on, which is why it's so slow. You remove all those hundreds of calculations, now you can test 2 decades in 10 minutes. That's the key, is being able to actually get the data and the information out of how a strategy is going to perform, which is where this has always fallen down. So using that criteria, you can fine tune the moving average to be as close as you like, but forget that Asian session, because this is where you get a lot of reversal alerts, which mean absolutely nothing because the market's just doing that. So we can filter that using time, as we do with the market reversal alerts EA at the moment. Yeah. So we're only going to look for new entries when the market's moving. So we ignore Asia or we ignore the swap, whatever you want to do. Again, it's totally flexible. So, and obviously everything runs on every time frame. So, you know, it's just, it's what I wanted to build. I've said this before. It's what I wanted to build, what I set out to build initially, but it got bent in 1,000 directions. This is just going to do this. It's literally, it's a tool to go, yes, no, am I right? Am I wrong? If not, do this. If I'm right, I don't have to do anything. That's what we do, isn't it? If we're right, we don't care. It just goes in the bank. If we're wrong, we need a way to manage it. And this is all it's doing. It's a tool to manage your trades. So easy peasy, much, much, much simpler. Will you be teaching your gardener how to trade with it? I haven't got a gardener. In fact, I have actually, because my eldest son really likes lawn mowing, so I'm not going to teach him. Just put a splash audio file for when you take the trade. Splash. What? Splash. Let's have a quick look at what this, while I've been waffling, what the US dollar's been up to. So we pulled back. So we've got a negative move on the US, but no continuation. So we're inside bar on the news at the moment. Market's opening in 2 minutes in the US. So we'll see if we get a continuation on this. It's not really doing an awful lot at the moment. So no change on the news, I would say. There's nothing much we can really... quarter point rate cut in June. That's exactly the same as we had before. 30% chance of starting in May, which is not going to happen. So yeah, there's no news basically today. Can you have the ADR indicators showing on the charts while you trade RSI? You can do what you like. Indicators have got nothing to do with EAs. How about the chauffeur? Yeah, I could get my chauffeur if I had a chauffeur. All the EA does, so you've got 2 settings in the EA, yeah? So these ones here for auto trading. If you set those to true, what it will do, you can see down here, not very clearly, but what it says down there is RSI trigger and ADR trigger. So it's basically monitoring for RSI extensions, and it gives you the RSI reading of the time frame you selected, and it gives you an ADR trigger to tell you whether or not it's hit ADR. And if you have those set to true, it will draw the ADR triggers on your chart. Yeah. So ADR trigger 175. 75. So if I change that to 50, I need to change time frame. Yeah, so that's moved down now to there. So it only draws one line. It draws the line that you have said when we get above it, I want to do something. So it only shows you what you need to see. But if you've got other indicators running, like I've got the ADR indicator running with all the extensions, that will show as normal. So if I switch this over to 100, yeah, you see ADR jumps up. The ADR trigger has jumped up to ADR 100. Euro pound, that's M15. So yeah, it'll do whatever you like. It's not live, no, because I haven't finished it. So I need to finish it first. Ignore that. This is a testing account. Yeah, it's not quite finished yet. In the fact that I haven't done all my testing yet. So I want to put the EA out with defaults that I'm going to use, basically. So I've got a backtesting list basically set up to backtest everything. And as soon as I've got that backtesting finished and I've got it all set up as I want it set up, it will get pushed out, yeah. But it's all ready to go on the marketplace. But it's not, I can't show you that because it's not in that part of the account. Yeah, it's all set up, ready to go. It's just not live yet. So I've got just got to press the publish button, basically. But the manual's only written. There's no strategy. There's nothing else there. So there's no set files or anything like that. So without set files, I'm just going to get bombarded by people. So I need to show strategy examples and I need to show the set files that produce those strategy examples so that people can just pick whichever type of strategy they want to trade. And there's a set file to do it. So I want to push it out with a number of different default set files, if you like, that you can use to just do what I do in the live room every day, which is just the normal mean reversion strategies. But I want to pick one part of one of the things I'm going to do with this when I've got it done is I want to produce a new set of basically I want to redo the bootcamp, but I want to do the bootcamp from beginner, i.e. I've just started trading what's a candlestick type level all the way through to going full-time as a trader. Yeah, and how to get there. So not a case of teaching, it's not teaching a strategy, teaching you how to become a trader if you want to become a trader, yeah? Because trading, as we know, has got nothing to do with strategy. It's to do with how you manage trades, your risk, and all that sort of stuff, yeah? You can, as I say, you can flip a coin and be right. I've just flipped a coin today on this. It will either be right or wrong, yeah? You know, if I keep talking for another 2 hours and it's up there, I'll close it. That's it. I close it because it's up there. If it goes down, I can do something with it, but it's nothing to do with any strategy. Becoming a full-time trader is a set of processes you need to go through. First of all, is getting enough capital together. So one of the things I want to do is produce a set file for this position trading EA, which is going to be super high aggressive and aim to double your account so that you can start doubling your account up to a level where you can have a big enough pot of cash to live off of. Because the first thing you need is 3 months worth of salary in the bank. If you haven't got that, you can't become a trader. Because if it goes wrong in month one, what are you going to do? How are you going to pay the bills? You can't. So first thing we need to do is find out how much you need to earn. We need to find out how much money you need in the bank. We need to know what capital you need to start your trading career with. And then we put together a plan, how long it's going to take to get there and how we're going to get there. We can trade our way there. Yeah. But it's going to be very, very risky to do that. If you have got the capital right now, you've got money in the bank to become a trader, you don't need to do that compounding part, do you? So I want to redo the position trading bootcamp, taking people from all the way through from very, very start to very, very finish, i.e. everything I've ever learned in my entire life laid out. How to use MetaTrader, Yeah, how to do everything in this that I do on a daily basis. You know, people, how do you download an indicator from the marketplace? People constantly say, I've just bought this indicator. How do I get it on the chart? You don't know how to put an indicator on the chart. How are you going to make any money if you don't even know how to use the software? You've got to know all this stuff. So I need to put stuff together to teach people all of this stuff, just general stuff. So, and that's part of being able to offer set files where you can say, right, this is what I want. I want a very low risk, very long-term reward because I'm using this as a pension fund. I want to be able to build an account from here to here within 6 months because I want to be a trader. I want to be able to offer a set file that can do it. But there's always a caveat with anything high risk. It could well blow your account, couldn't it? But I've done back tests which have quadrupled accounts in 3 to 6 months. If the market conditions are right, you can do it very easily. But you have to be aware that you're going to lose that potentially as well. Limiting risk, all that sort of stuff. So it all stems from having a tool that basically automates what you need to do, which is what this does. Doesn't matter how you get in. You need to automate what happens after you get in. Banking profit while you're asleep, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's got to do all that, which it does. So I just don't want to rush it is kind of what I'm trying to say, Kennelly. I don't want to just, it's ready to go. I can press the button this afternoon and it's there. But I don't want to just rush it out. I want it to be 100% right. And it's only on MT4 at the moment. Because people are constantly getting in touch with me about MT5 saying it's breaking and doesn't work. And I just, to be honest, one of the videos is going to be, there's 2 pieces of software available. If your broker only offers MT5, find another broker because this only works on MT4. That's what I want to do because MT5 is shite, doesn't work. Gets people into problems. But if this might be different actually because it works in a different way because it's much simpler. Fagini will now be crying because MT5 usage. But anyway, we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, I'll be working on that over the next sort of week, hopefully. And as soon as I've got the set files, it'll be ready. But I keep coming across little bits and bobs like this export facility. It's like, wow, what a brilliant thing that is. Why have I not thought of that before? So I spent, the last day building that because I want it. I'd rather go, here's everything and it's amazing than have to constantly do things going forward. But I will update it. But I'd rather push out something that is really, really good and really useful first time and works. And you can't break. EdMT5, yeah, we don't want EdMT5. This is the thing. It's just people break the market reversal alert CA all the time because it's so unbelievably complicated the way it has to work. So this thing, you can't break it. Literally, if you do what I say, if you don't change the magic number and you only use one chart on your terminal, on your VPS for every instrument, you can't break it. It can't break because it doesn't do anything complicated. It's really simple. That's what I want. If you're a beginner and you've only been trading 3 months or 6 months, you've never used an EA in your life, I want you to be able to just open a chart, drop it on, select a time frame, select a strategy and press the button. Because there's a billion people out there that are like that. And that's what they want. Simple. And it is simple. It's really easy, isn't it? We press the button, it goes our way. Brilliant. It doesn't go away. It presses the button again. That's all you need to do, isn't it? It's not rocket science. It's just patience. Just that it's a good add-in to the new EA. Yeah, that is a good add-in to the new EA. Yeah. The export thing's fantastic. I love it. I've been this morning I've just been sitting here running tests, like testing M30 reversals on 4-hour time frame. Yeah, looking for the ultimate trades, like using stupid risk, like using 1%. What was I using? 1%, I think it was. Single trades getting out at 1%. So 1 ADR moves or 2.5 ADR moves, I think it was. I think that was the strategy I tested. We'll find out. It might not have been. I can't quite remember. But basically looking for that you know, strategies come in very different shapes and sizes, don't they? But looking for that strategy that virtually never fails. So you can take stupid high risk on it because it just virtually never fails. If you want to double your account, take 10% risk with this strategy. You probably only get 2 or 3 trades a year, but 40% return a year, I'll have it. So set an account up to do that. You know, there's lots of things that you can suddenly test. That only took one. That can't have been it. I can't remember what it was. Was it maybe trading M15? I've set something up wrong here. Martingale as well. I don't like Martingale. But there are Martingale strategies that I've tested with this and I've exported, right? For not just doubling and trebling, quadruple plussing accounts within a very short period of time. Yeah. The sort of thing that I've got bailiffs coming to the door. If I don't find 10 grand in the next 4 weeks, they're going to shoot me. Yeah. Martingale will get you out of that. But if you carry on doing it, Martingale will also lose your house. But if you need to suddenly, bang, double your account fast, there's ways and means of doing it. That's obviously not the set file because that's only taken 2 trades, but I can't remember what I used. All right, 4. Might have been the 14. 21's too sensitive. That's more like it. I didn't change the spreadsheet, but if you look in the spreadsheet, that one went into 7 grand of drawdown. Yeah, it made 10 grand in 4 years, but it went into 7 grand of drawdown. Didn't take many trades, but those trades, look at how many trades it got into. Worst case scenario, the most positions you had on was 5 at one time. How often do I regularly have 5 trades on? A lot. But that's because I'm taking tiny risk and we're moving over large distances. This is using half an ADR to get in with very high risk, but very quick exit. So what this is telling me is I could double or treble my position size, yeah, and quadruple that very easily. Yeah, this data gives you so much insight, this data, as to what's going on a day-by-day basis, which you just don't get. You just can't see on this graph what's going on a day-by-day basis. It just doesn't, it's not there, is it? Really opens up a lot of can of worms, basically. I need a starter EA I can use. Yeah, starter EA is what we want. Everybody hit the thumb. We haven't hit the thumb. We've got 83 people. There's not enough likes. I don't know what a set file is. There are 1,000 of experienced traders like me who really need a basic EA to start with. Yeah. But you do need a basic EA because complicated EAs go wrong. Yeah. That's the problem. Anything complex. And it's not necessarily the EA's fault. It's quite often the user's fault because users break things. Tinkerers, yeah? So this, what I've tried to build here is tinker-proof. Like I've just shown you, yeah? If you stick this, if you shut your terminal down, start it up tomorrow and stick this on, it will go, I know what you were doing. Whereas the market reverse alerts EA will go, are there global variables? No, let's create those. Right, now let's do drawdown control. Hang on, we've moved 5 ADR. Let's close 25% of all of these positions in one go and make a 7% loss. Right, next. Because it's stupid. Yeah, it's not intelligent enough because there's too much going on. This isn't. I've made it super simple so that it can't be stupid. Or rather, stupid people can't make it. And it's not stupid people. It's, you know, if your computer blows up, yeah, it's going to cause you problems. You have to manually take over stuff, but this doesn't. Take the time you need, yeah. Lambo set file, yeah. I mean, you can find them. Lambo set files are those setups, yeah. Those. So let's go 90-10 on the 4-hour RSI, right? And let's go in with a 5% risk using martingale, targeting 2 ADR if we take one position, and targeting, let's not get greedy, 1.5 ADR, 2.5 ADR if it doesn't, right? This sort of thing, you can test this so quick. Put it in the Excel files so you can spit them out. You see what it does. But look how quick this is for testing. It's amazing, isn't it? Not going to take any trades, are we? We took one trade. We made 6 grand. It's 10% return. Yeah, we only take one trade, 100% strike rate. But anyway, that's no use, is it? That doesn't work. But let's go 85.15. Let's reel it down a bit on the 4-hour. Seems to be slow. Where's my spreadsheet? There it is. Yeah, this is a 50 grand account. We're up at 94. Oh, blown. No, not quite blown. Or is it blown? Yeah, that's blown. There you go. So we know we can't do that. Oh no, we were in 4 positions. So the beauty is now when you get these endings, right? Because this is not blown account. This is the test ended. But because we had open trades, yeah, it closes them all and goes, no, I'm taking an instant loss on it. So we know it was about 100 grand in drawdown on 120K. But you can open up the spreadsheet and see where you were. You can see all the information in there. So how much drawdown you were in at those particular times. So 46 grand in drawdown it was. And then it had to shut the positions out because the test had finished. So we're in, is that the right test? Oh no, it is a blown account. Margin, that's why. So that's too aggressive. So reel the aggressiveness back a bit. Let's get out quicker. See if that makes a difference. But you can also optimize all this stuff as well. You can use the optimizer to test all of this very quickly now. Let's see if this one works. No, that blew as well. So that blew. No good. So, you know, we've got to, you can use this to test all this stuff. This is far too much risk. It's martingale, look. Martingale. So let's knock it down to 1.3. Let's not use martingale because we know martingale will blow your account. But before it blew the account, it made 50 grand. Doubled it. Martingale does that, doesn't it? We know it. We know it's incredibly effective over short term, but will never work long term. Thank you, Peter, for your donation. Is it a donation? Tip? Whatever you want to call it. Thanks very much. Something for the weekend. That's very kind of you. I shall spend that the weekend on lager. In fact, I'm going to the cinema, so that might buy me popcorn if I'm lucky. Going to see Dune at the weekend. So thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Lambo set file. There you go. I'll make this one for Peter. Right, there we go. So that works. Test complete. There's your graph. Actually, let's, I forgot to reset the spreadsheet. I'm just going to run that again quickly because we want to have a look at the open drawdown. So yeah, it looks good on paper, doesn't it? So we took a 50 grand account. We turned it into, what did it get to? 120? 114. Yeah, test complete, 114 grand. So we made 65K over 4 years on one instrument. But what was our drawdown? 38 grand. Yeah. So we went into 38 grand of drawdown to make that 60, whatever it was. So, you know, invaluable information. And you can also do it by time as well, which is very, very handy. Yeah, so you can see how long it took to make that. So it made 78 grand. So you can see it started in 2020 and it did virtually nothing in 2020. It made 2.5 grand. 2021, it made another 8 grand. 2022, it made the vast majority of its profit, 56 grand. So it made 46 grand. And then last year it made not a lot because it didn't take many trades. But look how many trades it got up to. Worst position was 4 trades. Only 4. I'm in 4 trades all the time. So if you want those A++++++ setups that virtually never fail, and those are the ones I keep showing you in here every time we look at RSI extensions, and when we've got these big ones, look. Down here, yeah, we got there once. We don't get here. Yeah, we got there once. We don't get there. We got there and there, yeah. But look what happened when we got there. Look what happened when we got there. Bang. Look what happens when we got here. Don't know yet, but look at what happened when we got there. Drop. Look at what happened when we got there. Drop. What did I just test? That. How many times did it fail? Never. Where are we now? What should you be doing? Yeah, and that was just come up with that out of the blue, tested it, found out what the maximal drawdown was on it, and how much money it made in 4 years. Yeah. Some people earn 20 grand a year. That thing earned more than their salary by doing nothing but sitting on a chart waiting for the 4-hour RSI extension on the pound US to go above 85. Yeah, patience. You can see how much patience you need, how long trades last, how many positions you're going to take in them, what the maximum pain is going to be. So when you get this and you put this exact set file I've just done on the pound US dollar, and you sit there, when you get into a trade, you can sit there and go, good chance this is going to draw down by $30,000. Because it's, you've seen what it's done in the past. And obviously that doesn't mean it's going to happen again in the future, but you can test it over a longer period. Let's test it over 2 decades or something. See what would have happened then. If it had blown the account, not good. But that's where drawdown control comes in, doesn't it? And we can test that. We can do drawdown control. It does automated drawdown control. It does aggressive drawdown control. It does all of that. If this works, I'm not going to put it on the market. I'm just going to use it, and I'm never going to come back online again. Who wants to be a millionaire? We're only halfway through. We're only halfway through. Boom. There we go. So what happened there? We made 400 grand over that long, however long that was. I forgot to do the file again. So 778. This is the only problem. You've got to delete that file. Is there a way I can delete that file before I do the test? This is why I've put an input here, look, so that you can change the name of every test, and basically that's the file name it uses. So if I put a different file name in there, when I run the test, it does a new. That's the whole point, but I obviously haven't done that. But yeah, so that blew up. So what we can very quickly do now, which we couldn't, or I couldn't do before, is find out why it blew up and what happened on that date. So you go back, that might have been COVID, for example, or it might have been the financial crash of 2018 is my guess. But the spreadsheet will tell you that. I was doing very well, wasn't it? Look. But you see what I mean about doubling an account? Yeah. If you want to double an account, this will do it very quickly and easily until it doesn't. And this is what everybody says about martingale. Martingale is fantastic. It works really well until it doesn't. Yeah. The doesn't is always the same outcome. But the does is always the same outcome. It will exponentially grow an account very, very, very quickly. If you start there, you're dead immediately. If you start there, you're going to buy a Lamborghini. Yeah, aren't you? So that died 2018. Yeah. So we know what happened in 2018. Collapse. Everything collapsed. COVID. Everything collapsed. Yeah. So, but you would know about this. Yeah. It would be on the news. The banks are all going bankrupt. Shit. Shut it all down. I've just made 300 grand. I've got enough money to shut it down right now and take a 50k loss. You can do that because in the real world, you can go, okay, well, what would I have done in the financial crisis? What did I do in COVID? I hedged everything because I haven't got a clue what was going on. I'm lucky and glad I did. But, you know, beautiful. And then if we take over from 2018 and we start again in 2019, barring the financial crisis, after that, it did that. Yeah. So it's, you know, this is it's so good, this having this data and this information to be able to see what is going on and why it's going on, because you can eliminate those things, can't you? Same with news trading. We know that the opening range breakout and the stock index hedge strategy don't do very well when we've got CPI and interest rate releases and things like non-farm payroll. So like today, I'm not trading it. Yeah. How do I know that? Because I backtested all the data and I saw that these huge loss days all occurred around news. So don't trade the news. You won't get the huge loss days. Obviously, you can't not trade through a financial crisis because you don't know when it's coming out. But you will, because it'll be all over the news. There'll be red flags going everywhere and you'll have 400 ADR drops and you'll be like, out. You should be out. You shouldn't be holding. But look, what happened after? We made another 169 grand. So that made 400 grand. We had a financial crisis. Let's say we took 100 grand loss, and then we only made 169 grand in the last decade. £500,000. Who's earned that in the last 10 years? Probably quite a few people, to be fair. 50 grand a year is not a bad salary, is it? But that's 50 grand a year on one instrument. Don't forget, there's 28 of these. And I'm just mucking about on the pound US. I'm making this all up as I go along. I haven't tested any of this. So, you know, pick some stuff at random. We can test anything. What would happen if I went for half the targets and was not as greedy? Yeah. You can do this so quick. So quick. It's like a revelation. You can probably tell by my enthusiasm. This is a bit of a game changer as far as position trading testing goes. Yeah. It makes a massive, massive, massive difference. I suspect the outcome is going to be I'm not going to make as much money. But also the drawdown is going to be probably a lot less. Actually, that didn't do, 58 grand. Not as good. But again, you know, what difference does it make if you drop down and you do the same thing using hourly charts? How does that affect things? You know, so the difference between the H4 and the H1 strategy over a 5-year period. How quick this is to find out that information. Such a good, I mean, from you know, it's worth having from a tool perspective. And you can do all this with a demo, yeah? You don't have to buy this. It's a demo. I'm running in a strategy tester. So, you know, you can do all of this back testing just to do all this back testing. There you go, that blue for some reason. 2020 is my guess in March. That didn't save that set properly. Let's have a look at when it ended. 2022 in April, something happened. Let's have a look. It was that drop, look. Yeah. So how would you get around that? Half the risk, which means you get more than double the drawdown amount, which means you would have got out on that leg. So that test has shown us very simply that if we halved our risk, we wouldn't have had a problem. because the market structure just took twice as long as normal to get out of. So, yeah, it's going to be such a good thing. It's going to be so eye-opening for those people that want to tinker. Beautiful run on the Dow, is it? I'm not trading it today. Not my... I'm not going to trade around the off the back of the news personally, but right, I'm going to leave it there today. So it's 3 o'clock. I'll be back next week. I haven't set up the live room schedule next week yet, but I can tell you what it will be on. Ooh, times are changing as well. So the US session obviously is going to be different. We're going to be an hour earlier. So next week, Monday, there's no news. So I'll do the usual 2 streams on a Monday, 8 o'clock, and probably do a 2 o'clock. And then obviously next week we will be trading. So Tuesday, I'll probably do the afternoon session for CPI. Wednesday, I will do 1 session for GDP. So probably a morning session. Afternoon session on Thursday. Same on Friday, afternoon session. So it's mainly going to be afternoons next week because that's our news. So the main news we got coming up next week is CPI for the US. And then we got the PPI and retail as well. So it's all US based news. Guys, a rubbish week for news next week. Pound GDP is all we've got. So it's literally Thursday. We've got CPI figures Tuesday, and then Thursday for PPI. So those are the only 2 news days next week. Bit rubbish, but we'll see. So there you go. I'll leave it there. Anything else you need, let me know. I'll be back on Monday, and I will keep working on this. I'm hoping to get a bit of time over the weekend, although it's Mother's Day this weekend, so I'm busy doing things this weekend. But I will try and do as much as I can and hopefully get it finished and all the testing done by the end of next week. And then obviously I can put it out and you can play around with yourself. Just go and download the demo and test. And, you know, use it basically to get your own data and your own information about how it all works. And look for other strategies as well. That's going to be one of the key things that people are going to be able to do with it. So, all right. So have a good one. Anything you need. Thanks again for that, Peter. It's very kind. That £10. I shall spend that this weekend. So yeah, if you need anything else, I'll be in Telegram and Discord over the weekend, but I'll be back on Monday and I'll put the live room schedule up and I'll post it when the schedule's up so we know where we are next week. All right. So have a good weekend. Good luck and I will see you next time.